In the House Judiciary Committee, Virginia Republican Ben Cline, a loyal foot soldier of the MAGA agenda, opened his remarks by calling progressive icon Pramila Jayapal, the Democratic Congresswoman from Washington State, a liar, straight to her face, on the record. What followed was a heated exchange over a so-called balanced budget amendment, a proposal that conveniently ignores the $8 trillion Donald Trump himself added to the national debt. The same party that handed billionaires historic tax cuts now lectures America about fiscal discipline.
The chair now recognizes gentleman from Virginia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move to strike last word.
Gentleman's recognized.
I won't waste time responding to the lies, really, of the gentlelady from Washington when she claims that people
Mr. Chairman, you're undermining. The gentleman needs to take down his words. You don't have a point of order. I have a point of order. I have a point of order. I request that the gentleman take down his words. He is, or withdraw them. They're telling me to withdraw them, but I would demand you take them down.
Committee will suspend.
Don't call me a liar.
I will restate.
Do not call me a liar.
I will restate.
You better.
The time belongs to the gentleman.
All right.
Virginia.
The gentlelady is not being truthful when she says that people are
Mr. Chairman.
peacefully protesting
Mr. Chairman.
when they are interfering with ICE enforcement of the law.
You can't impugn the intent of a member.
The time
You
belongs.
are misstating the facts.
The time
Are you
belongs.
withdrawing?
The
No.
time belongs to the gentleman from
Do not withdraw.
Virginia. I think he has said that he restated it and said that you weren't being truthful versus the word that was used prior. The time belongs to him. The gentleman from Virginia is recognized.
I want to focus on the issue at hand, which is not weird, which is not ludicrous. When you are $35 trillion in debt, that's serious. In fact, that is the most serious issue facing the future of this country. We desperately have to address the fiscal imbalance that has been created by both parties, by both ends of Pennsylvania Avenue, over the last several decades. And the gentlemen who have spoken, and the gentlelady who has spoken, said it correctly in that we, as a body, have responsibility, but we haven't been able to exercise that self-control to address it. And whether it's the Ways and Means Committee failing to address entitlements, appropriations failing to address deficit spending, the regulatory state across authorizing committees, we all have a responsibility to step up and do our part. The Republican Study Committee has, in fact, offered balanced budgets every year, balanced over 10 years, balanced over 7 years. So the ranking member was incorrect that there are not balanced budget proposals out there.
Will the gentleman yield for a quick question?
Yeah.
But have any of those been brought to the floor for a vote? That's what I was pointing out.
They have. In fact, it was the practice that when the president offered his budget, it was brought to the floor. The majority offered their budget, and then the RSC budget was actually offered for a vote. So yes, that has happened in the past. It hasn't happened recently, unfortunately. I would like to see it brought to the floor.
Thank you. I wasn't aware that it ever happened.
It has. But, you know, the train is off the tracks. And whether it's the people calling for an Article 5 constitutional convention or this committee taking action as is necessary to pass a constitutional amendment, there must be action. And it may not be perfect. The gentleman from Kentucky points out some of the questions about the wording, but let's get it right. Let's spend the time here and do what's necessary to get this amendment right so we can pass it. I think it is fiscally sound because it does require a 2/3 majority to spend beyond balance or raise taxes.
The gentleman yield.
I yield.
Just as a point of curiosity, are you aware of what the combined net worth of every billionaire in the United States is?
I do not know that.
It's about $7 trillion. So to respond to the other side, this is not a taxation issue, as you were alluding to. This is fundamentally a spending issue. If you taxed every billionaire at 100% their net worth, it wouldn't dent the long-term trajectory of where we are.
I thank the gentleman. And I do think that it has come time for us to take this important step because the interest on the debt is now 13% of our budget. interest payments on the debt. It's more than we spend on Medicare, more than we spend on national defense. It's now the largest part of our budget. So for our children, for our future generations, for this country to continue to lead, we have to take this action today. So I look forward to supporting the amendment. I thank the gentleman for offering it, and I yield back.
What began as a debate over a balanced budget amendment quickly devolved into what we've come to expect from this Republican majority: performative fiscal outrage seasoned with personal attacks on their Democratic colleagues. Representative Ben Cline of Virginia, a man who has voted in lockstep with the Trump agenda on virtually every spending bill put before him, opened his remarks not with policy, not with substance, but by calling Representative Pramila Jayapal a liar, on the record, in committee. And when he was forced to walk it back, he didn't apologize. He simply swapped one insult for a slightly more parliamentary version of the same accusation. Not being truthful. The chairman allowed it, and they moved on. That tells you everything you need to know about the state of decorum in this Congress. Representative Cline wants you to believe that America's $35 trillion debt is purely a spending problem. He even cited the fact that if you confiscated the entire net worth of every billionaire in America, roughly $7 trillion, it wouldn't solve the crisis. And technically, he's right about the math. But here's what he conveniently left out. No one is proposing to seize every billionaire's net worth. What Democrats have proposed repeatedly is that the wealthiest Americans and the most profitable corporations pay their fair share. The 2017 Trump tax cuts alone are projected to add nearly $2 trillion to the deficit over a decade. The Republican answer to that? Not to revisit those cuts, but to propose a constitutional amendment that would effectively mandate austerity/social programs and make it nearly impossible to invest in the American people. It means that in times of recession, when families are hurting, when unemployment is rising, the federal government would be constitutionally prohibited from deficit spending to stimulate the economy. It means no emergency relief without a 2/3 supermajority. It means Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the lifelines that tens of millions of Americans depend on, would be perpetually on the chopping block. Not because we can't afford them, but because one party refuses to ask the wealthy to contribute more. This is the same Republican Party that passed the Trump tax cuts without paying for them. The same party that raised the debt ceiling 3 times under Donald Trump without a whisper of protest. The same party that oversaw an $8 trillion increase in the national debt in just 4 years. And now they want to amend the Constitution to impose fiscal discipline? On whom, exactly? Because it certainly won't be on the defense contractors. It won't be on the corporations paying effective tax rates in the single digits. It will be on working families, on seniors, on children. Representative Cline closed by saying the interest on the national debt now exceeds what we spend on Medicare and national defense. He's right, and that should alarm every American. But the question he refuses to ask is, how did we get here? Who cut the revenue? Who handed out trillions in tax breaks to those who needed them least?